It's May 3rd and this is the first day of our dandelion detox. I've taken a little swig of the dandelion juice and it's horrific. But what you do, somebody was asking me, what do you do? How do you drink all that dandelion? Okay, well this is key. You gotta chase it. So you line up your juices. First you get your water, and this is 100% pure cranberry juice. Because honestly, you need to reward yourself in this case, because this is so horrible. You got to chase it. So you take your dandelion juice, swig back the water, swig back the cranberry juice, and it's tough. It's very tough. I'm gonna show you us actually going through with this, and we will keep going through. Somebody said, how much do you drink? And I said, how much dandelions do you have? You know, honestly, it would have been less bitter last week than it's going to be right now. And you just keep doing it. You weed your garden, you come in, like first you take your dandelions and you soak them in the tub that you weeded them in. And then you clean off the dandelions outside, like say these dead stems, and doopy-doo, yeah, whatever. You take that off outside, chuck it outside, because they're such dirty things. You want to clean them outside first before you bring them in the kitchen, or your kitchen's going to be a mess. So you end up taking off that and you just chuck that into your compost pile. That'll be fine. So you don't want to juice that, you just want to juice this. And another thing, when you take your little dandelions like these, they're going to taste better than the big ones. But what do you do with the big ones? You juice them. You juice all of them. So I put the littler ones in for James's juice, and the big ones, I even had one with a flower already in mine. And so mine's going to be more disgusting than his, but honestly, dandelion juice is disgusting. No matter how you cut it, it's going to be disgusting. So that's that. So yeah, wash them outside first and then bring them in and then drink it. And another thing, this is pretty late in the day. So the easiest thing to do is, say you're working a regular 9-to-5 job or whatever. Come home at the end of your work day, weed your dandelions, soak, like put water in your tub that you have your dandelions in, and then in the morning wash out your dandelions better, and then bring it into the house and juice it. First thing when you wake up, you want to juice your dandelions, because this is so horrible when you're already awake. Like I do my detox stuff first thing in the morning. That's my first breakfast, is my detox. This is really awful. It's so awful. And if you do it when you're already wide awake, as I obviously am right now, and I got my full 8.5 hours sleep, actually, like I got more than 8 hours. I got 8 hours, 38 minutes last night, and I hadn't realized it, but it was the pain. I took a painkiller last night and clunk, I was out and it was fine. I got my sleep that I needed. A lot of the time, I don't even realize it when it's pain keeping me up. But I should have known. It's gardening season. I'm working harder than I would normally be working, and I'm getting more muscle mass together, but it hurts, right? And you're not even, half the time you're not even really conscious of it, but it's gonna keep you awake, and you got to deal with it. You got to get the sleep you need. So anyway, here we go. It's so bad. And I rinse out the cup. And done. I didn't even really need the cranberry juice, but I'm gonna let myself have it. Ugh. And that's the key. Just chug that back. Don't sip it and then go, ooh. No, you chug it back. You get it down. You don't want to stretch that experience out any longer than you have to, because it's bad. But all of my detox juices are bad. Dandelion juice, really not any worse than what I do to myself in the morning with the ginger, turmeric, whatever. So, but this week I won't be doing the ginger turmeric concoction so much. This will be dandelion this week, because it's dandelion season. This is what I do every spring. So, don't know where James is, but you're gonna want to watch him get that down, because boy, he does not like it. So yeah, that didn't take very long to weed that many dandelions out. And I got a pretty good amount of root with most of my dandelions just using a screwdriver. But I mean, you get the big suckers and there's no way you're gonna, like when you have a root that's half the, like the taproot on some of those is half the diameter of my wrist. Well, I'm not gonna get that out with a screwdriver. But at the same time, I don't really want to disturb my strawberries and irises, so that's the best that I can do. So I know they'll be back there, and I don't really care that much. I could take, I mean, if you're gardening and you really don't want your dandelions back, you can take measures to get rid of them. It's not that hard. And I'm not saying chemical, don't use chemical. It's, I mean, you can keep juicing these things until you get rid of them. And that's more incentive to make sure they don't bloom, isn't it? I mean, because you know how horrible the dandelion juice is. But, no, what was I going to say? Oh, you can dig up your whole patch. Like, you could take your strawberries and, oh, another thing. Why we're doing it, we're digging up all of our dandelions today and tomorrow, and then I'll be washing them, and some of them I'll have to store in the fridge, just because we won't be able to drink that much all at once. But we'll be drinking every last bit of dandelion that we weed out of the garden. And so anyway, the best time to do it is just after it rains. So if you have a little bit of rain, like we had a few days there, you want to get out there right away. And I mean, if it's a big rain, you don't want to be out in the mud. It's not going to be fun, and it's not good for your soil. You end up compacting your soil if you're stomping around in the mud. So don't do that. But if it's just a little bit of rain like that and the ground is just moist, that's when to be digging, because it's going to be way easier to dig than when it's hard and dry. So yeah, today and tomorrow, good days for dandelion digging here in southern Alberta. And by next week, they'd all be blooming. We've got to get them out before then, and really should have gotten them out last week. But even if you're late getting to your dandelions and you're getting them out while they're blooming, still juice them. Juice the whole sucker. It's good for you. So, and it doesn't take long. I mean, yeah, the whole time I'm juicing it, I'm thinking about, oh, this is going to be so horrible, drinking this horrible juice. But you saw, it only took me, what, maybe 30 seconds to get that down? 30 seconds and you've done a good thing for your body. I mean, James is going to show you how it's done. He's a professional dandelion juice drinker. And he hates it. And he makes good faces. So I really wanted to get this on film for everyone. Because this is how he approaches the dandelion juice.
So what is this here?
That's just cranberry, 100% cranberry juice. So it's a nice.
Yeah,
nice
you got it lined up.
I do. I have it all lined up for you.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Okay.
If you need more cranberry juice, I have extra. Like, I didn't even need to chase it.
I like sweet. If I can drink this pretty well anyone
Anyone can.
outside of childhood.
Yeah.
I mean,
But yeah, if you're
can, it's
making
just
your
a child.
children drink that,
Wow.
that's mean.
Because their taste buds are so much more.
Exactly. Don't make your kids do this. But
do try it at
definitely,
home.
Yes, every spring. Do this every spring. When the dandelions come up, you go, oh yeah, springtime for dandelion detox. It's very easy. It's hard to time the other things, the other detoxes. Like you should do a detox every time the season changes. Now that's how it's done. I take longer guzzling it back, but he just slams her down. It's awesome.
I try to get as much as possible.
Yeah, you gotta rinse
Putting
it.
it.
Sure.
It's pretty thick. Wow. That's awful.
Yeah. But yeah, every time the seasons change, it's a good time to do a detox. And
Cranberry juice tastes sweet after that. That's two syllables on the sweet.
yeah, I still have a little bit of bitter going on in my mouth from the dandelion.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, it's
it'll linger.
It's
I think
I
there's
could
about
drink more cranberry, but I don't think I need to. I think I'm good.
Okay. What does not kill one makes one stronger, according to Nietzsche.
Yeah, and James is eating some garlic toast with orange tomatoes on it.
Yeah, that'll be good. The orange tomatoes will taste very sweet.
And also, you've been noticing I've been saving the seeds from the tomatoes and making my slow cooker meals. Now, normally I wouldn't. Like, I used to just put the seeds right in there, and some people go to so much work poaching their tomatoes, peeling off the skins and de-seeding and whatever. I don't do any of that. The skins go in my dals and my soups and whatever. It does not matter. I eat the whole thing. And I believe strongly in whole foods, in eating a plant-based diet and whole foods plant-based. So if like I've been taking the seeds out because I'm working on this program of trying to interest people in gardening. So I'm trying to save the seeds to give to people to garden. But which is fine. I mean, we eat lots of seeds anyway. So I don't mind that we're getting rid of some of our seeds, but normally I wouldn't. Normally, like past years, I didn't, and it's fine. It goes into the dal and you don't even notice it's in there when it seeds. Do you? Do you care when I've made dals and soups with seeds? No.
I like seeds.
Yeah, it's fine. So you get used to eating these things and it doesn't bother you. And sure, it seems a little more professional when I've de-seeded the stuff, but I don't know. I really don't notice. I don't notice a difference. So I've been saving seeds for people. Oh, and also I was doing this morning. I was saving my seeds just in the pod. So these are from my purple beans that they're the bush bean that I was growing last year. So I don't know if you noticed in my videos the purple beans. Well, those I just save them right in when I'm storing my seeds. I save them in there. So then I don't have to worry about labeling a container. I pick up this guy. I know exactly what's in there. You know, it's not a surprise to me. And you have to wonder about your different beans. Like if I just had my beans sloshing about wherever, not in their pods, I wouldn't necessarily, if they fell out of a container or something and I wouldn't necessarily know what bean it was, right? And some are bush and some climb. And so I'm growing a couple different kinds of beans this year that are climbers and a couple different kinds that are bush. So I'll show you both in my videos. And you need to know which is which, because say you take a bunch of these beans and you'd already taken them out of the pod, so you don't remember that these were your purple bush beans. They're just beans. I mean, sometimes different beans have a different design on the seeds themselves, so you can figure out what they are. But sometimes they just look like pretty much identical to the climbers, and then you don't know what they are, right? But when you're planting them, you need to know. If you put a bush bean right at the back of your, like say how I have the peat bales against the wall like that, well, my bush beans are not going to do well. They're not going to do well at the back, and my climbers, well, I certainly can't put them at the front, right, of the peat bale. So, and I want them at the back, where I want them to climb up the wall. Like last year I had the corn covering the wall, so that helps. Like I don't have a fan or anything in my house for keeping cool, or an air conditioner, so it gets hot. If that wall were just bare naked, it was a lot hotter before I started doing the peat bale gardening along that wall, right? Yeah. And so the corn really helps. It's just corn, but somehow it keeps the heat from building. And I'm trying to work the same sort of thing with the beans. So this year I'm going to plant the beans that get 10 feet tall along there, and hopefully that will shade the wall too, right? And I tried to do a sunflower thing on the other side of the house last year to shade that wall. But with the sunflowers, you have to worry about, like, their roots put something out that prevents nitrogen fixation through the beans, right? So when you're designing your peat bale, you should use some kind of pea or bean, especially if you're doing organic gardening, because you need the nitrogen to feed your plants, right? And the peas and beans fix nitrogen from the atmosphere, and then it feeds your other plants, right? So if you're planting sunflowers in your peat bales, you have to be aware that there's no point in putting your beans in those peat bales with those sunflowers, because there's not going to be nitrogen fixation occurring with the sunflowers. So with the sunflowers, you plant your morning glories, whatever, but don't bother with the beans. Put the beans somewhere else. So different things like that. Anyway, so how was deck dinner?
Pretty good.
Nathan?
Now that I've erased the taste of that.
Do you want my cranberry too?
Sure.
Okay. Because, yeah, I don't need it.
Okay.
I'm good. All right.